Welcome back to What She Said Sports. All right. My mic went off auto mute automatically. All right, y'all. So I put together a good show since the last time I saw y'all because I kind of knew what I wanted to talk about. I put together the schedule. You see, we're talking about the pro buffs tonight. Why? Because it's preseason week 2. Now, last week, everybody played. But this week, as you can see on your screen, if Shedeur not playing, I'm not watching. I got this from X because that's the sentiment on X. And this came from a Guardians, Cavaliers, Browns fan. That is excellent news to see that Browns fans are out if Shedeur is not playing, right? Which means he's the face of the Browns. Him and Myles Garrett can share it, right? But he's QB1. He's QB1. And the reality is they don't want to admit that they don't really need Flacco. Shedeur can play week 1 just like Cam Ward and go all the way through the season, but they don't want that, right? And we like Flacco, so we're not pushing Flacco out the way. But Dylan, God rest his soul, he's a nice young man, and maybe on another team it'll work, but nobody is going to be, except a few people. We're going to talk about those people in a minute. The masses are not going to put up with Shedeur being buried on the depth chart. So the plan that the NFL have is failing. It is definitely failing. I will say that. And the fact that this came from a Cleveland fan of multiple teams and multiple sports in Cleveland, this is good news. We're not out here alone as Shedeurians, right? As they call us. We're not out here as Shedeurians looking like we just want our guy to play. No, we're holding Cleveland accountable, and the Browns fans, some of the Cavaliers fans, Guardians fans have joined in. So if Shedeur not playing, I'm not watching. Proof positive, I put this schedule together. As you can see, Shedeur Sanders and Travis are over here to the left with the word sidelined because they both are out tomorrow. Neither are playing, but since we still have people playing for the Jags, BJ Green and Cameron Craig, I still put the Jags on the schedule. I did not add the Browns to the schedule because Shedeur is not playing, so I'm not wasting any kind of time on the Browns. They don't even deserve my interest. I'm only there for Shedeur Sanders. Yes, I'm a Shedeurian. That's right. Got a t-shirt on the way. So as you can see, we're getting ready to go over the schedule. I'm going to make myself a little smaller so the schedule can get a little larger so y'all can kind of see and make note. You can make a mental note if you want, or you can screenshot this and save it for tomorrow. So tonight, the Titans and the Falcons were playing. I couldn't get into it. I don't know what's going on. Tomorrow, Panthers versus Texans. That's the game of the weekend for What She Said Sports. We will be live tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, rooting for Jimmy Horn Jr. Other notable events to pay attention to in the game. I'm a CJ Stroud fan. I'm rooting for Nick Chubb since he got his freedom papers from Cleveland. So I'm going to be watching him to see how he does. And I hope he burn it up tomorrow. I know he was sad to leave Cleveland, but I bet he's good now. So I'm definitely into that game. If y'all want to join me, get your snacks. We're going to be live starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess I want the Panthers to win because that's who Jimmy plays for. And they lost against the Browns. So I want Jimmy to get this one. All right, next up, we have Will Shepherd playing for the Packers and the Colts. Also a Malik Willis, Jordan Love fan. I guess I want the Packers to win because that's who Will Shepherd played for. And his number is 82, and that's my birthday. And he's a pro buff. So 1 o'clock tomorrow, we'll be checking in on that game. We'll be watching, focused on the Panthers, but we will be checking in on the Packers. The only way I'm going to hear about the Browns is if notifications start popping up on my phone and I choose to pay attention to them. Don't care. Bucks and the Steelers. Now, that's Shiloh. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. we'll be watching that game. I want Shiloh to get another quarterback blitz. I want him to ball out. So I'm rooting for Shiloh tomorrow. And then we have LeJontay playing at the same time. He might start. So we'll be checking in on that game. I'm kind of curious to see how it ends, but I want the Ravens to win. Lamar Jackson fan, of course, LeJontay Wester, want to check all of that out, right? And I want to see how the Cowboys do. I want to see how Joe Milton does. We have a little video tonight where some people are pushing for Shedeur to go to Dallas, saying that they're not too impressed with Joe Milton, but I'm not hating on Joe Milton because they devalued him too, right? So anybody with a 70-yard deep ball and some accuracy should not be backing up anybody else. But we know the deal, right? 17-32. So we go on from the Ravens, who we want to defeat, the Cowboys, and then we go to the Cardinals. Now, y'all know that's where, I forgot Miami. Y'all know that's where Zay Weaver is. So Zay Weaver, we want to check that out. It's super late. Not saying we watching it. We checking in on that game. We might be out and about by that time. So we just going to check in and see what's going on with Zay. We're going to have to probably focus on Zay more when he come this way. And then I forgot about Miami because we have D-Mac. I need to go back and add him on here. I don't know who they play tomorrow. So if anybody want to put it in the chat, let me know and I'll add it to the calendar. And if I left out any games or any buffs, let me know. Now, I can start putting the Canadian teams on here because last week or early this week or one day, I was watching for Justin Mayers in the CFL with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So I can add Justin Mayers and I can add Mark Bassett. And that way we can just know the calendar for all of the buffs. These are pro buffs. It's not just specific to the NFL. All right. So over here at the bottom, 7 p.m., the Jags and the Saints. Now, normally I would care, but Travis is not playing. But Cameron Stillman Craig and BJ Green are. But I kind of don't want to waste my time on the Saints. But it's at 7 o'clock when Shiloh's playing the Bucs. So I'm going to check in on it. I don't care about the Saints anymore. I just want to see how the other guys do. Last week, BJ Green had a sack, so I want to see him and Cameron Stillman Craig ball out. So I'll be checking on those guys. All right, 1 o'clock, Panthers, Texans. We're live. We're going to probably be live the entire time unless, the score is lopsided and the Panthers losing, and I'm going to find something else to do. I still need to go to spin class because I haven't gone yet. So 1 o'clock. And then everybody else, we just going to be checking in, popping in, see what's going on. Might be back live for Shiloh, but can't promise it because it's Saturday. So feel free to screenshot it. That way you have it. You can keep it. Travis and Shedeur Sidelined for tomorrow. Nobody that I know is watching the Browns, Eagles. Good luck to Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown and the rest of those guys. Okay, so, we like Myles Garrett new too, but we're not going to watch. So, that's that. So that's that. That's that. So we get ready to watch. We get ready to move on. Getting ready to move on to the next thing I want to talk about. So hopefully y'all got the schedule. Let me see who riding with us tonight. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Shedeur better not play. He needs to get well. Let their precious Dylan play. I know that's right. That's facts. You right on that. It said, Gene, I don't want Shedeur to play hurt because no. Facts. Get some rest. Don't be like Anthony Richardson. Not that he was wrong. I know he was a little worried about losing his starting job, but you can't lose what they're going to take from you anyway. So get some rest, fellas. Get some rest. Travis, you too. So I don't think he's going to be playing. It's just not worth it. It says it will just delay his healing. Facts. And I'd rather see him in the season after Kevin Stefanski's fired. So get some rest, Shedeur. It said the Browns would be killing it this year with training camp excitement, millions of new fans, skyrocketing jersey sales, media blitz, and more importantly, wins by drafting 2 and 12. Yeah. And not only 2 and 12, they had so many picks. They could have had Shedeur, Travis, and Jimmy. Facts. They could have had all three of them. But they didn't take any wide receivers because they neglected the position. Maybe they kind of knew that, Xavier Baum was going to be cheap and get him because that's what they did, right? And, Shedeur, they ran his pockets too. So Travis was one that was going to get paid. But, they could have had They could have had both of them and Jimmy. They could have been lit. And now, because nobody's paying attention to them, because why? This is the motto right now. Nobody's paying attention. They want to talk about, well, Shedeur might be back next week. We don't care. We don't care. We do not care. We will show up when he shows up. We will show up when he shows up. You knew he was the best quarterback you had, and you want to play in our face. So we going to find something else to do. Understanding. And some Cleveland Browns fans coming with us too. So, get your hair done, get your nails done, get some sleep, get some snacks. We're going to watch these games. We are not concerned. We believe Shedeur is somewhere resting up. We don't want to talk about next week. See, they know the buzz is dying. So they want to talk about, Shedeur could be back next week. I thought next week was for the veterans. Then they want to say, well, maybe Shedeur has played his last preseason game. Okay. We'll be back during the season when he show up then. He is the biggest draw you have. You don't appreciate him, so we not wasting our time. We're not wasting our time. You had it good. You didn't want it. Now you're well going to run dry, and we're going to find something else to do. So somebody put together a little skit that kind of speaks to what we were talking about earlier today. You know, how I noticed this thinly veiled coded language that Kevin Stefanski has been using, right? How it just kind of seems weird that he has a losing record and he has this weird allegiance, right? He lists himself as a servant leader of the Cleveland Browns. And I'm like, you taking your job way too seriously, right? Because a servant leader of the Cleveland Browns, what exactly are you serving here? Because y'all are terrible as a franchise. Poor management, poor performance, but you a servant leader, not of the Cleveland Browns. That just must also be thinly veiled and coded language. And for Kevin Stefanski to go out there and say Shedeur is not good, they gave him some plays where he don't have to think too much. He's out with an injury, so unfortunately, we're going to have to put him down like he's a four-legged canine or a horse, an animal, not a human. So, fans who have an allegiance to this man, even though he's not winning when it comes to football, even though the franchise is trash, and they have an allegiance to it, and they rooting for Dylan. I'm like, okay, it's something else going on here. It's something else going on in here, and the Southern girl in me is giving vibes, right? It's giving that, there must be brownie points for doing all of the harassment and the bullying towards Shedeur Sanders. There must be a crimson hood waiting somewhere, right? That must be the prize. So I'm not the only person who see what's going on. Check out this skit that was put together by a popular content creator, OG Lightskin. Check this out.
Cocky, arrogant, wall black.
And look right here, Jim. Shedeur Sanders just threads the needle with this pass.
All we're seeing these days is Shedeur highlights. Shedeur this, Shedeur that. I thought it was NFL. It's turned into BET. Hey, good catch. That's terrible. It's just a cocky alpha male move. He could have gave his teammate a high five. Instead, it's taking that man's cheeks. Save some air for the rest of us, buddy. Disgusting. He's over there asking God for handouts. Pure arrogance.
There are many reasons I don't like Shedeur Sanders. Cocky, arrogant, nepo baby, talentless, daddy's money, prima donna. I could go on. Seems you. Listen.
Now, we're going to talk about this.
No. No. I'm a big QB guy myself. I like Pat Mahomes half the time. Hey, what's that one fella's name? Jalen Hurts. He's one of the good ones. Lamar? He's not quarterback enough for me.
Okay, so did you get that? He likes Pat Mahomes half the time. Half the time. Pat Mahomes is half black. What's that fella's name? Jalen Hurts. He's one of the good ones. because he's light-skinned. But they don't like him either, right? Because he clearly walks to the beat of his own drum and don't care what they think. And then Lamar, he's not quarterbacky enough for me because he's brown-skinned. What did I say yesterday before we even set eyes on this skit? That's exactly what's going on. What is the difference between Lamar Jackson and Shedeur Sanders? Coach Prime. Somebody to keep Shedeur going while it's pretty tough to have other people come around and show him favor on this path. Whereas Lamar Jackson had to go it alone. I mean, he had his mom, but we're talking inside the league. And hopefully there will people put on his path because he is still around and has been colluded against 3 times. There's so many innuendos. The whiteboard, calling him cocky, arrogant, this, that, and the other, nepo baby, daddy's money, and black is right there in the middle. Pay attention to the whiteboard, the New York Giants. This was, somebody thought about this, right? We're going to keep going. We're going to watch it again. We're going to start and stop because that's the rules. And it's so much to pick up on the way. But the point is, this is supposed to be an NFL fan, number one. And it's a hater of Shedeur Sanders. Listen to how he said, I thought it's supposed to be the NFL, but it's BET. Because why? Seeing black quarterbacks every week. Hearing about black quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders all the time. Lamar Jackson all the time. Well, this can't be the NFL. This has to be BET. All right, so let's keep going. If you're just not joining us, somebody in the comments, maybe some of the members can catch up some of the fans if they start asking questions, or supporters. Thank you.
I'm done with the NFL. The devil is at work in that league. I got a meeting to go to. And no, I'm not racist.
So he got a meeting to go to with a white sheet. I said Crimson Hood because that's the wizard. He said a white sheet. He had a white sheet. He said he got a meeting to go to, the car white, the sheet white, and he got a meeting to go to. So what's the innuendo here? What are we saying about these NFL fans who have a problem with Shedeur Sanders and Lamar Jackson is not quarterbacky enough? And I like Pat Mahomes half the time, but they won't say it's because he's black. They use everything else to say it. They use nepo baby to substitute to keep from appearing what? So we're going to watch it again because there's a lot here.
Cocky, arrogant, all black.
Did he say cocky, arrogant, and all black? I didn't catch that part. I might have to catch the all black part. Again, there's a lot here. Let's keep going. This is Shedeur in front of you, supposedly.
And look right here, Jim. Shedeur Sanders just threads the needle with this pass.
All we're seeing these days is Shedeur highlights. Shedeur this, Shedeur that. I thought it was NFL. It's turned into BET. Hey, good catch. That's terrible. I mean, it's just a cocky alpha male move. He could have gave his teammate a high fiver. Instead, he's taking that man's cheeks. Save some air for the rest of us, buddy.
Okay, so the noise that I can't make back and forth repeatedly. What was it given to you? What was it given to you? I know he said save some air from the rest of us, but what does that noise sound like? Let me know in the chat.
Disgusting. He's over there asking God for handouts. Pure arrogance.
There are many reasons I don't like Shedeur Sanders. Cocky, arrogant, nepo baby, talentless, daddy's money, prima donna. I could go on. See you. Just
Right in the middle. He don't want to say it.
I'm a big QB guy myself. I like Pat Mahomes half the time. Hey, what's that one fella's name? Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he's one of the good ones. Lamar?
I don't like him.
He's not quarterbacky enough for me.
Quarterbacky.
I'm done with the NFL. The devil is at work in that league. I got a meeting to go to. And no, I'm not racist.
White car, white sheet. He got a meeting to go to. So, Lamar Jackson not quarterbacky enough. That's what got me. Quarterbacky. So the way you describe and define the quarterback position, Lamar Jackson doesn't fit it. Shedeur Sanders doesn't fit it. But Jalen Hurts is one of the good ones. Pat Mahomes, he like him only half the time. I told y'all they're going to come for Pat Mahomes at some point. When he's of no use to them, they're going to start trashing him too. They're going to put Trevor Lawrence in front of him. As impossible as that may seem, it's coming. So I thought this was brilliant. They took time to show Shedeur is talented. He's hardworking. Even when he gets on his knees and pray to God, he's asking for a handout. It's just disgusting. So there's nothing he could do. And it's all because they are racist. And it's not just mild racism, or I don't know what to call it. It's extreme, deep fried racism. It's deep-seated hate. There's nothing Shedeur could do. Who treats him like that? Kevin Stefanski. He treats Shedeur the same way. The same way. There's nothing Shedeur can do. He can't even say the man's name. You know, and it's funny how they'll tell you who it is that they like in one of the good ones to try to separate you and make you feel accepted, but kick the other ones. And one of the good ones falls right along the racial color lines of the paper bag test. We talked about that. I told my own story of the experience and how damaging it was. So let me know what y'all think about that. That was brilliant. I thanked whoever made it. Somebody tagged me in the comments on IG, and I was like, oh, I got to share this because this is what we were talking about. See, we are here, and now I think it's about 20,000 people watched it when I saw it. They're here too. See, everybody's now coming to the realization that what's happening to Shedeur, now they're talking about the haters. That's why the Browns fan base is split. Like the person that put this out is a rational human being who basically is a fan of all Cleveland sports, basketball, baseball, and football. But they can see what's happening. And they're like, if Shedeur is not watching, I'm not watching. Right? But then there's a lot of them that are cheering for Dylan Gabriel. And what did I say earlier today? They're cheering against progress. 243 of us. Hit the like button, please. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. And it's starting to come together. It's starting to come together. The weird allegiance to Kevin Stefanski. And you see what he's willing to do. Block the best because he's Black. Now let's see how long it takes mainstream media to pick this up. But we might not even need it because with it weaving through the Browns fan base and people becoming vocal from the Browns side of things and joining the Shedeurians, we tried to tell you, the voices will continue to grow. And that's what you need to lend your voice to when you're on these platforms and these comments. So they going to feel it. And I think they already feeling it. They put Shedeur in their first little documentary and made him the feature so we could get hooked and watch it because they know the rest are not appealing. Flacco's the only person we probably would watch for, and we probably not going to go through the whole thing. Flacco's the only QB they have that we're willing to share QB status with. We're like, you know what, Flacco, you were here first, and we need to see what this O-line going to do, so you go ahead. But Shedeur technically is QB1. Now, there's some people that's not going to back down from that. I'm willing to start off QB2 because Stefanski has proven that he will set Shedeur up to get sacked already. And I don't think he's happy Shedeur not playing. I really don't. They don't even want to name the starter of the game. Talking about if Dylan could go, why he can't go. Well, isn't that why you got Huntley? But you didn't make him practice. They brought Huntley in for injuries to be ready to go, but didn't give him no reps. What kind of sense that make? What kind of sense that make? Let's see what somebody's saying. It said, folks better treat us right. We will TULA. We will what? LA. Somebody gonna have to say. We will TYLA the NFL. Somebody gonna have to tell me because My brain is focused on what I'm getting ready to say. What does that mean? I don't know, but I feel like it's funny. Thank you for the word salad. I appreciate it. I like this kind of thing. So my thing is, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. My thing is we all getting together, right? We heard the guys talking the other day about the Shedurians and how it's the wrong reason to come to be a Browns fan. And I said, I think some of these Browns fans don't want no new company. And now you see why. Because we going to figure them out real fast. And we already have. But see, it's not just the haters. See, I'm an advocate for people to understand that Stefanski is the ringleader. Yeah. And that's why he ignores Shedeur, won't say his name, talking about, unfortunately, we're going to have to put him down, which is very alarming because Shedeur is a human and not an animal. And if you think about him in terms of referencing an animal, you don't respect him. You already set him up to be hurt, to be sacked. You seem unhappy he not playing in this game. So you could hurt him and you can't be trusted. So let's listen to Skip Bayless talk about, in my opinion, he campaigning for Shedeur to go to Dallas. Now, y'all know I already told y'all. People saying Joe Milton. Jerry Jones like Joe Milton. Can Shedeur throw a 70-yard ball? The answer is yes. And can Joe Milton sell $250 million in jerseys when they flip it to the two in Dallas? Everybody in CU sending him messages and still calling him two. I told y'all, Shedeur get traded, it's going to be a hostile takeover. Somebody going to come in there and Barry going to get to work and Shedeur going to be gone. What happened to Shedeur? Oh, yeah, we had to send him on to Dallas. They wanted to get him. It's not but one owner right now that could just snap his fingers and it happened. And coincidentally, he's impressed with the backup quarterback he got for the same money that Shedeur makes. Let's take a listen.
Now, speaking of Cowboy quarterbacks, watching Joe Milton try to play quarterback the other night against the Rams, I couldn't help thinking, I sure hope Dak stays healthy all season. Joe Milton is the flip side of Shedeur. Joe Milton is a huge young man with a huge arm, but a young man who just struggles to play the hardest position in all of sports. He just doesn't have Shedeur's feel for playing quarterback, Shedeur's command, Shedeur's poise, Shedeur's consistent, deadly accuracy. I mean, watching Shedeur play quarterback just makes me comfortable. Watching Joe Milton makes me nervous.
Boy, Shedeur is a damn superstar. It's amazing to me. Shedeur can start. He's QB1. I'm like, for $4 million, don't think we're not paying attention. Y'all know I have to start and stop and talk through it, and we got to watch it more than once. So keep listening. If you're just not joining us, hopefully somebody asked a question in the chat, and our members will gather around you and answer the questions if you need some clarity. All right, let's get back to it.
But I guess Joe Milton III is going to be the Cowboys' backup quarterback. Of course, we got spoiled by having the NFL's best backup quarterback in Cooper Rush for those many years. The Ravens made a shrewd move, giving Cooper Rush $12.2 million. That's a bargain. That's a steal for 2 years. Now, speaking of Cowboy quarterbacks,
starting over.
Watching Joe Milton try to play quarterback the other night against the Rams, I couldn't help thinking, I sure hope Dak stays healthy all season. Joe Milton is the flip side of Shedeur. Joe Milton is a huge young man with a huge arm, but a young man who just struggles to play the hardest position in all of sports. He just doesn't have Shedeur's feel for playing quarterback, Shedeur's command, Shedeur's poise, Shedeur's consistent, deadly accuracy. I mean, watching Shedeur play quarterback just makes me comfortable. Watching Joe Milton makes me nervous. But I guess Joe Milton III is going to be the Cowboys' backup quarterback.
All right. So that's that, right? So he campaigning for Shedeur to be the backup in Dallas. Why is that? Because Joe Milton and Shedeur make the same money. Joe Milton came in last year. They made him a QB2 right out the gate behind Drake May. See, when I was doing my little quarterback research, I said he not a backup. So before, when everybody was moving around in free agency or whatever, when Jerry not when Jerry signed that, I understood that. But when Jerry decided to get Drake May, a backup QB2, I said, oh, they blocking Shedeur. Because we all know if that spot was empty, Jerry could have drafted Shedeur if Shedeur fell unexpectedly. But see, Jerry knew Shedeur was not going to be available. So he made sure to get Drake May to block that spot so nobody could come at him and say, you should have got Shedeur, because that's what people did. Even Skip Bayless said, Jerry Jones don't want to get Shedeur for $4 million. But see, I see a little play happening here. I've been saying since the jump, has Michael Parsons signed his contract? Because Jerry Jones told Shedeur, we're going to have to do a lot of trading. But to be honest with you, that was before the draft. That was before the draft. But now that he's only $4 million, suddenly Jerry Jones is cold on deck about the future. Yes, you're our franchise QB, but future long term, no, we could do this without you. We're better off without you. He sees Joe Milton III throw a 70-yard bomb and saying, pinch me. I can't believe we have him on our roster. Now, you just heard what Skip said. He does have an arm on him. He can deliver a 70-yard bomb. But Shedeur makes him comfortable. Shedeur is consistent. Whether he said it or not, Shedeur is exciting. Shedeur can sell $250 million in jerseys all over again. So a group of people who never bought him the first time with the number 2 on it. And then his delayed success can take place in Dallas. And it's fine if he want to sit behind Dak. But Jerry Jones would actually probably bench Dak, trade Dak, and put Shedeur out there if Shedeur balls out like he did in the Browns game in front of Jerry Jones. Do not forget, he and Coach Prime are friends. And I'm sure after the draft, they done had a parting of the ways. But if you ever had a friend and y'all done fell out, y'all made up, didn't you? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I mean, Coach Prime does have some players that need to be scouted and going on to these pro leagues, the CFL and the NFL, because, you know, I might have to put that behind me, which is why he's been so strategic about the way he been moving. So they're going to have to cross paths anyway. And he already been to the Star. Big 12, what's that? Whatever it was called, Big 12 event. That like jump starts the season. That was at the Star. And I'm of a believer when I see chess pieces slowly moving. And now Joe Milton makes the same money as Shedeur. I don't have to do a lot of trading like I thought before the draft, even though I knew what was going to happen. I could also have been a part of this devaluing of him because I didn't get him. I can have Joe Milton for what he is. And if he don't do good, I could just move him. And whether Andrew Berry wants it or not, I just send Joe Milton over there for the same money and get Shedeur over here. Tell me it won't happen. Tell me it can't happen. The only reason he wouldn't do it is if he know he too guilty to interact with Coach Prime. That is the only reason he would not swap Shedeur, which can make him $250 million like that. And don't forget, the Dallas Cowboys make their own merch. So in addition to jersey sales, run that $250 back. with a brand new jersey, and I'm going to get everybody that wanted it before and some people that bought the 12. I'm going to get those people. I can put Coach Prime's jersey out there. I can run both of them up. Hell, if Tampa cut Shiloh, I can get him too. I can have everybody here. Not saying all of that's going to happen, but the point is they make the same money. So the stars are already aligned. Joe Milton, Shedeur Sanders makes the same money. Cleveland makes it known. We don't want Shedeur. That's because Andrew Berry want to use him for trade bait. They already got the first round pick. They could get a quarterback first round pick. So they just going to use him for trade bait. At some point, they're going to lift the moratorium on Shedeur, and it could be sooner than you think because of Brian Flores's contract, which talks about discrimination against black quarterbacks too. And everybody is finding out about this and like, this is what happened to Shedeur. You let people start talking about that. Shedeur going to slide on over here to Dallas, and Milton going to slide over here to Cleveland. And then people going to be off of Stefanski's back. And then we going to be gone, and they're not going to hear from us no more. And we going to go cheer and celebrate in Dallas. And we don't even care if he don't play right away. He just anywhere but Cleveland. I can see this happening because I know the pressure is going to ramp up on Stefanski. OG light skin with this skit. This is going viral already on IG. It's going to hop over to X. If don't nobody post it, I am. It's going to make its way. It's probably already on TikTok. And then people are going to be saying, instead of what they said last week, Stefanski said Shedeur up to fail, they're going to say what? Oh, he racist. That's why he treated Shedeur like that. Brian Flores said that's what the NFL did. So they still racist. This wasn't even about Coach Prime. Stefanski, this, that, and the other. And then you let that other lawsuit move, take one step forward and request a deposition or discovery or anything. If it take one step forward, it's going to be all in the news. There are 3 lawsuits that the NFL lost positioning on and can move forward. That's what's going to force Shedeur out of Cleveland. Pressure. And not just pressure from the fans. Pressure because of racial discrimination lawsuits. That's how racism got back in the end zone today. They were bold when they took it out. They were letting their flag fly. But Brian Flores took a step forward. I need this fan lawsuit to take a step forward. Hell, don't let nobody else file one directly against Cleveland. It's on. It is on. That's the unexpected. So you heard it. Skip campaigning publicly to Jerry Jones. Get Shedeur. I know it's happening privately. They make the same money. The hard part is done. I could see if Joe Milton made $10 million a year. Hell, he probably still would trade him. But the fact that it's an even swap on the books and you just changing the name and the jersey number, it's too easy. It's almost like they set it up that way going into it. Well, let me get Joe over here. Shedeur fall. We can get him later. Nobody else can see it. Now you have Skip talking about it. I already said it, but Skip's platform is larger. You're gonna hear other people talking about it. If the pressure get too high in Cleveland, you're gonna start to hear something about Shedeur being traded. The moment you hear anybody say trade Shedeur and trade in the same sentence, or Joe Milton, it's on. Because no one has talked about Shedeur in a trade scenario in the draft or now. But you have heard one about Dylan. But Shedeur is way better than Dylan. And nobody's come calling? That sure is strange because they can't. But it's going to get to a place that they can. And it's already a backup QB at QB2 who make the same money as Shedeur. So Jerry can sign Michael Parsons and still have Shedeur instead of having to do a lot of trading. Remember, he said that before the draft. So, you know, it's a lot happening. And I don't know if y'all know, but Skip Bayless was basically campaigning for Haslam. So a couple of days ago, he was campaigning for Haslam to let Shedeur start against Joe Burrows when they played the Cincy Brown, the Browns Bengals game. I said, don't push Shedeur to play in that game. I'm like, because he don't Stefanski ain't right. If God have Shedeur just sit down somewhere, it's for his own good. It's a own good. When if somebody put together, and if I have time, I'll do it. Put together all of the clips that Stefanski has referenced Shedeur, have not said his name, the things that he has said, we're going to put him, unfortunately, we're going to have to put him down. Yeah, we gave him easy plays so he don't have to do a lot of thinking. But Dylan can get things right away. He a supercomputer. That's all stereotypical. That's all racist dog whistle language. It's no different than in the skit where the guy is at the whiteboard.
Shedeur Sanders just threads the needle with this pass.
All we're seeing these days is Shedeur highlights. Shedeur this, Shedeur that. I thought it was NFL. It's turned into BET. Hey, good catch. That's terrible. It's just a cocky alpha male move. He could have gave his teammate a high fiver. Instead, he's taking that man's cheeks. Save some air for the rest of us, buddy.
Please tell me you got the fast breathing and the shaking to the side. Tell me you got that. Tell me you got that. Let me check the comments and see what y'all saying. Because tell me y'all got that one. All right. So 346. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Have a great show. Thank you, No Limit Soldier. I appreciate you. Hey, Marlon, how you doing? Hey, Miss Tina. It says, hi, did you see the clip of Barry and Shedeur on the sideline? Yep, we talked about it earlier, I think. Yes. A lot of fans are now starting to see that clip as Shedeur being direct and holding Barry accountable. Let me know if y'all got that from it. Let me know. A lot of people think that's what was happening there. Hey, Jerry, how you doing? It said no cut, no trade, no sir. Selmo is a Cleveland Browns fan. You're going to have to come over to this side. Are you planning on watching the game, Selmo? Let me know. D said, I wouldn't be surprised if Shedeur plays tomorrow. Cleveland is a mess. I don't think he's playing tomorrow. But, we're going to see. But I'm not watching. I'm going to have to hear about it. Shedeur better not play. He needs to get well. Right. Let their precious Dylan play. I totally agree. Totally. Gene said, I don't want Shedeur to play hurt. Right. That's facts. He said, I'm watching to see if Dylan flames out. Plus, I'm a lifelong Browns fan. Okay. Okay. So you still going to watch the game. Okay. It said the Browns will be killing it this year with trading camp excitement, millions of new fans, skyrocket jersey high sales, media blitz, and more. Yep, and Portland wins by drafting 2 and 12. Hell, they could just give Shedeur his number 2 and treat him right, and they would be the most talked about team in the league. In fact, I think that they are. I think that they are with Shedeur. That's why with Shedeur being out, they already feeling people waning away, so they're trying to get people excited about next week. I'm like, I don't want to hear about next week. It says, instead, they joined in the collusion with the owners. What we see now is that 2 can make any receiver look great. However, 12 needs 2 to make him look great. What? 12 needs 2? Are you talking about Shedeur? Oh, you saying 12 as in Travis needs Shedeur to look great. Interesting. People were always concerned about Travis Hunter playing with Trevor Lawrence, which is why some people thought that Shedeur was going to end up in Jacksonville. But Trevor Lawrence's contract keeps him there till 2030 or 2029, which is ridiculous, especially for somebody that hadn't balled out that much. It says, and Shiloh, he went undrafted. Yeah, I hope he makes the roster. If not, I hope he lands somewhere else. He too good to be on a practice squad. It said, hey, Queen, hopefully 12 fully recovers and we'll be cheering for all I see you boys. Right. And we might see him tomorrow. somebody somewhere with a camera, and I think we need to look for Bucky, who might be filming Panthers Texans game. That's the one I'm going live at 1:00 Eastern. Bucky was filming their practice, and it seems he's gotten permission to film from the Panthers, so he might be joining them in all of their games, home and away. So I'm looking for Bucky tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see a clip of Shedeur. Hey, Gail, how you doing? James said, okay, James, let me see what you're saying here. It said, James said, no other QB has been groomed by Hall of Fame veterans and elite players with around-the-clock mentorship like Shedeur. We got to stop the lies. No play. He's been built since pre-K for this. That's facts. That's facts. I mean, that's really the truth. And they don't want to admit that. But I think when OG Lightskin made, when he made that skit, I think he's just speaking what a lot of people are starting to come to the realization. Like the Browns fans that's in the chat. I mean, y'all lifelong Browns fans, but do you see the racism at play? Holding Shedeur back. Do you see the way Stefanski is intentionally holding Shedeur back? Do you see how he's hostile towards Shedeur? How he can't say his name? How he said, with Shedeur being out, unfortunately, we're going to have to put him down like he's a four-legged canine or a horse. So Browns fans, let me know your thoughts about those things. All right. So James, I mean, that's facts, right? And look at now how everybody wants to pivot. Like I said, we were in the curve, like at a Mardi Gras parade where you can't see the straightaway. But as we begin to exit the curve with Shedeur being the best, now they want to pimp him out there and put him out there for $4 million. If they don't let Dylan play tomorrow, they knew exactly what Dylan was when they drafted him. And they knew they were going to put Shedeur behind Dylan, which is why they drafted Dylan, just like the Heisman stage. And they was going to make Shedeur knock himself out to try to move up. And when it didn't happen, he was supposed to flip out, be upset because he's, spoiled, daddy's money, provoke him, to antagonize him, to torment him. And even when he's the best, it doesn't happen. He doesn't get prepared for the games. He doesn't get the first team reps. He gets the least amount of reps. He's going out there and winning. They want him to jump all of these hurdles because they want him to want it so bad that it's just tearing him up inside. But that's not happening. So now he's injured. So go out there and do it yourself. And that's what has to happen. I don't think Stefanski's happy Shedeur not playing at all. I think he had plans for Shedeur. Just like that 4th and 1 pass in the first quarter at 8 minutes and 12 seconds left, which should have been a field goal. And Shedeur ended up getting sacked. Personally, Shedeur doesn't need to play another preseason game. They said the last game is supposed to be for Pickett and Flacco. Well, then I've seen enough from Shedeur. You don't want to play him in the regular season. You say you more comfortable starting with Dylan over Shedeur in the regular season. Let me see you do it. Because you're not going to let Shedeur sit there the entire season. It's not going to happen. The pressure going to be too much. The walls are already caving in. And then you put the voices of Browns fans and everybody else and non-NFL fans. It's going to get loud. It's going to get loud. So thank you, James. Thank you for the support, but thank you for the insight. I appreciate it. It said the Browns don't want to be lit. They want to be in the all-white QB draft of 26. Yep. And they're like, oh, that class is so much better than this class. I bet you $10. None of them are better than Shedeur. None of them. They didn't want to admit Shedeur was the best QB coming out in the draft. Cam Ward, he played today. They said he was 5 of 7 last time I checked. They say he didn't have a good day, so I don't know. I have to watch and see for myself. And Shedeur in October 2024 was the #1 QB coming out of college. So people started meddling to make sure he don't get to that Heisman stage. Keep that in mind. It said, I just want 12 to get better. Yep. Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? It's Lisa. Hello, everyone. I said that I'm not watching the game myself. If Shedeur not the QB, wouldn't be watching until Shedeur is QB. I agree. I totally agree. Because if they think they want to bench him for the season, have at it. I got like 6 or 7 other players to watch. If they want to dress him up and sit him on the side and torture him, I'm not watching it. I'm dog pound all day, and I will be watching. Okay, y'all got to start making some sacrifices, some more. Y'all got to start holding the Browns accountable, and y'all need to start holding Stefanski accountable for the way he's treating Shedeur. Tell me why that doesn't happen, because it needs to happen. I mean, I know y'all see it too, right? You can't be numb to the racism. Look how heavy-handed and savage racism is. I mean, I don't really see it, so I don't know. I'd have to look into it for sure. It said that's why 2 told 12 to come to see you. Told 12 to come to see you in the first place. Trevor Lawrence is not it. Right. Trevor Lawrence, I don't know. They say they think Travis gonna end up getting hurt playing wide receiver trying to catch a ball from Trevor Lawrence, and he has upper body injury right now. They just call it upper body something. So he out. So I don't know what happened that he ended up, kind of getting injured like that. So black and rich, that's it. Young, black, and rich. That's the threat. That's the threat. Yep, Sarah, that's all it is. So, Thelma, we need y'all Browns fans to get together and start holding these people accountable and how they treating the best quarterback y'all have had in decades. It said, I live in Ohio, 45 minutes from Cleveland, and it's very racist in Ohio. I never liked the Browns and only started following them due to Shedeur. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for sharing that. So, see, they getting some new fans because of Shedeur. Haters. Yes, Joyce, that's what it is. That's what it is. And it's funny how when the guy did the whiteboard, right? Anybody figured out what the fast breathing was about? Did anybody figure out what that was supposed to represent? If nobody has realized it, I will tell you before we get off this podcast what that was. See, that's why you got to watch that skit multiple times. Because the first time when he said, I like Pat Mahomes half the time, I was like, it didn't click until afterwards when he said Lamar Jackson wasn't quarterbacky enough. They thought about that skit. They thought about that. I appreciate that. It said he said Jalen Hurts is one of the good ones. Jalen's number is 1. That is funny. See, that's what I mean. They thought about that. They thought about that. It said instead of the NFL name, it's NFCC standing for blatant collusion. I agree. That's why I said the only owner that's going to break the circle of collusion would be Jerry Jones. They going to have to be forced into trading Shedeur, because I feel like they took out in racism today, like it was the Christmas lights, and it's Christmas in August, and they finna hang it up again after they took it out for the Super Bowl, when it mattered a lot because of who was in the Super Bowl, who performed at halftime, and what city it was in. But they just couldn't leave well enough alone. They had to act like they didn't see it because they didn't want to talk about it. Regardless if 2 and 12 was nursing an injury or not, he wasn't supposed to be playing in this game. It's Dylan Gabriel's turn to prove himself into an actual football game. I agree, because they said the preseason games are for the rookies to prove themselves, just in case somebody want to see what they could do for a trade. They said to not let them play is also malpractice. There's organizational malpractice that probably falls under it some other kind of way. I already got 3 boxes checked off under there. Oh, the filing fees for the lawsuit, just in case anybody wanted to know, for Brian Flores' lawsuit was $400. So, we get together $400 and get a lawsuit going. Just in case we got to do it, just know, $400 ain't hard to get now. B Thomas. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm so glad people see it. And I'm so glad people saw the interaction with Shedeur and Barry. And they felt like they saw Shedeur trying to hold Barry accountable, right? But I was looking at Stefanski and how he was acting. That was crazy. So it said, but let's examine the ethnicities of the owners. The majority of them are old money. That's fact. That's facts. That's facts. It said Dylan Gabriel is the Nepo baby. Right. Because Stefanski can turn Dylan Gabriel into a pet. He treat him like a pet. Don't he? He treat him like a pet, like a tabby cat. You know how people with their pets, they don't let them walk down the street. They put them in a stroller instead of letting them use their full legs. Stefanski doesn't treat Dylan like he's a grown man. He treats him like a pet. Well, let me protect you. Good evening, Kiel. Welcome back. Welcome back. Shedeur was breathing. All right, let's talk about what that was. Do y'all not know what that fast breathing was? The rocking to the side. It don't sound familiar. Monkey. Think about it. Monkey. That's what all of this. That's what that was. I just can't repeat the thing, but now you see it. Now you see the hands, the fast breathing, leave some air from us. No, that was a monkey sound. Dylan Gabriel looks. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Could be. I think he's Polynesian, right? It said, and it looks like a Tesla he hops into. All I know is people said it was white. And when he was putting that sheet in the car, he come out, I got a meeting to go to, and he's scooting the sheet in the car. I was like, thank you, Lord Jesus, somebody else see it. I'm like, thank you, Lord Jesus, somebody else see it, because you can't. And I put in the comments, whose head coach is this? Guess whose head coach this is? Because I'm like, that explains the weird allegiance to Kevin Stefanski from a base of people who want Dylan to be the guy, although he has proved nothing, and Stefanski's record is sub 500. It makes sense. It makes just as much sense as Cleveland being a repository for players they want to discard, especially quarterbacks, right? Especially quarterbacks, especially black quarterbacks. And then what? You do this solid for me. Even though you haven't won anything, I'm going to give you a brand new stadium like Jerry Jones have in Dallas. You didn't do nothing to get that. You don't even have anywhere near a $10 billion valuation. So that bitch, you've been out here doing some favors. And the last favor they seem to have done, take Shedeur. Y'all pre-draft with him. Just take him over there. We'll figure it out later. But that probably was going to always be the plan when he was pre-drafted. Kevin Stefanski didn't say much other than we know who Shedeur is. We know he going to come in here and work hard, this, that, and the other. I haven't heard him probably say Shedeur's name since. So it was some white car with a white sheet talking about, and I'm not racist. I'm like, that's always the line. That's always the line. It said, was that a monkey sound? Yes. Let's play it again. That was a monkey sound. Pay attention.
Disgusting. He's over there asking God for handouts. Pure arrogance.
There are many reasons I don't like Shedeur Sanders. Cocky, arrogant, nepo baby, talentless, daddy's money, prima donna. I can go on. Seems you. This
Yeah, I don't want to say that.
No. I'm a big QB guy myself. Yeah, I like Pat Mahomes half the time. What's that one fella's name? Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he's one of the good ones. Lamar? He's not quarterbacky enough for me. I'm done with the NFL. The devil is at work in that league. I got a meeting to go to. And no, I'm not racist.
I need to get back to the little fast breathing sounds. So let's get back there. Let's get back there.
Cocky, arrogant, wall black.
And look right here, Jim.
Wait. What? Cocky, arrogant, and what?
Cocky, arrogant, wall black.
Wall
Cocky,
black?
arrogant, wall black.
And look right here, Jim. Shedeur Sanders just threads the needle with this pass.
All we're seeing these days is Shedeur highlights. Shedeur this, Shedeur that. I thought it was NFL. It's turned into BET. Hey, good catch. That's terrible. I mean, it's just a cocky alpha male move. He could have gave his teammate a high fiver. Instead, he's taking that man's cheeks.
Now,
Save some air for the rest of us, buddy. He could have gave his teammate a high five.
one more time.
Instead, he's taking that man's cheeks. Save.
You see? You see? Did you see his hands? Did you see the moving back the side to side? Monkey. I think he said at the beginning, all black. Is that what he said? It said white black, but that's not what came out of his mouth. I think he said all black. But y'all let me know. I didn't catch the beginning. That's the one part I couldn't make out. And I don't know why he was concerned about the cheeks, but they've been doing that in the NFL. It's not like he created that type of whatever they call it. I mean, that's something they've always done as far as I know. A dog. Nope. Look at his hands. It said, I'm going to repost this video to my Twitter. There you go, D. Thank you. It said a monkey. Thank you, Kiel. That's it. Charlotte and Kiel, y'all got to share it tonight. That's it. A monkey. Family, these people are just like their parents. They're just one generation at 50 years plus removed. Check out the DNA. Facts. That was a monkey. That's why Lamar Jackson isn't quarterback-y enough, because they have a vision of a quarterback and they only like Pat Mahomes half the time because he's half black. That's why the quarterback-y statement for Lamar don't work. They hate on Shedeur and it had nothing to do with his dad. But you see, they brought that up. Daddy's money. He's arrogant. And it was a whiteboard. So this is an affront to the Giants. If anybody can see what his hat said, let me know, because I know it mattered. I know it did. Just like that white sheet he was putting into the car. And this is the part I want this conversation, right? Not just our conversation, but the conversation we're having, that the catalyst for all of the hatred towards Shedeur Sanders, the devaluation and humiliation in the draft and in Cleveland, the bullying, the harassment, holding him back, devaluing him, right? Is the catalyst is racism. Racism. He's a black quarterback, 17 to 32. And yeah, we're going to update our chart when everybody's a little bit more settled in. This is straight up racism. That's it. That's what this is about. People can't see in the draft that was the driving factor. When, after they came back from New Orleans for the Super Bowl, when Shedeur and Coach Prime were, lured into a false sense of confidence of being around familiarity and family, they pushed him off of a cliff. But before that, an insider told Mel Kiper Jr. what? The NFL does not want quarterbacks, plural, like Shedeur Sanders now, because of what was at stake in this draft. And they've been working on this at least since the Vegas Super Bowl, at least, because they knew in 2024, when Jacoby Brissett became the 15th black starting quarterback, that somebody out of this class in 2025 was going to be 16. Somebody was going to be 17. And since Milroe balled out, somebody's going to be 18. They was willing to take Cam, but they making him compete now. Shedeur was pigeonholed to 17 because the story fit with Coach Prime. So when he hit number 1 in October overall, it was going to mess up everything, because then Shedeur would have been 16 and I would have had to antagonize and devalue Cam or Milroe. What story would I use for that? Because Milroe wasn't even a guarantee because they trashed him in college. So who am I going to trash? There's nobody other than Cam Ward and Shedeur. Nobody knows Cam Ward, so I can't trash him. So the story fit with Shedeur because of Coach Prime, and they decided we just going to push him off of a cliff to make sure we don't leave that draft with the majority of the starting quarterbacks, the QB1s being black, and they succeeded. They succeeded. So now the truth is coming out. It's not about Coach Prime. The catalyst in the draft, the catalyst in Cleveland for the treatment, holding him back regardless of how good he is. This weird allegiance to Stefanski. The owner allowing it. All 32 owners taking him off the board. The catalyst is racism. Brian Flores' case happening right now, moving forward right now. Racial discrimination, and it happens to quarterbacks too that are black, is proof. That's your evidence. This been going on. Brian Flores filed his lawsuit when Shedeur was at Jackson State. So this is not new. Brian Flores' case moving forward is bringing awareness to everybody. One, that it's out there. And two, we get to hear the truth now. And the fact that he mentioned quarterbacks go through this too, meaning racial discrimination, it gives us a forum to talk about it and bring out the truth and connect it to what happened to Shedeur in the draft. And then look at everybody else that it happened to. They should file a class action lawsuit. They got one for sure. The case study in racism in America, only in America and South America of South Africa, they have something similar. Racism in America and only in America of South Africa, they have something similar. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. And in Africa, they were going through great lengths, or is it not Africa? There's a tribe of people that are actually Black, but they're trying to marry the women off to men of a different culture. And when they get married, they absolutely have to drop the designation for whatever Black culture this is that they belong to. I watched it on YouTube. I said, that's what they're doing to Black Americans right now, pairing up Black men with anybody that's not Black. In every ad that you see, that lulls Black men into a false sense of acceptance. But they want you to marry out. And then they want the women to either just be left, or eventually they're going to marry them off to somebody else. They did the same thing to the Native Americans. This is not new behavior. This is how you kill off. This is how you end an entire group of people. You divide them and then you marry them off to different cultures and force them to leave their cultural heritage designation, race on paper and in practice and in life behind. These women absolutely have to stop calling themselves whatever they were calling themselves that were Black. Yep. And now they said there's only 300 of them left in the whole type of tribe or whatever they belong to. It's insane. But that's what they're doing over here. That's why you see Black men and Black women fighting on social media all day long. They don't realize that they're being divided so the men can go off and dilute, first of all, dilute their DNA. And then the women just, I can't have a baby without a man, right? So I'm going to have to run off over here with different type of men. And then eventually, all of that DNA going to be diluted from both sides. And then what's going to happen? We're not going to look like we look no more. They already said in about 50 years, Black people, all Black people are going to look like Nick Cannon's children. Because everybody he had kids with was not Black. But I felt like he did that because he had sickle cell, but I don't really know. And he didn't want to pass on the gene, but I don't really know. But they're right, though. They're right. They always fall back on the Bible when they trap. Always. Always. If you ain't obeying them, then you ain't. Like I said, Pat Mahomes, the first thing he did after he lost that Super Bowl, because I think they knocked some sense into him, was cut his hair, and his barber is Black. I was like, I see you getting it. I see you getting it. I'm like, you gonna get it. You gonna see. And he gonna be like, what did I do all of this for? If they was just going, when they done with me, toss me to the side. It is a lesson that a lot of Black people, half Black, all Black, don't matter, Oreo, whitewash, whatever you want to call it, full body melanin, learn when they choose to abandon Black culture or Black people or their Blackness. It's just a lesson that everybody got to learn when you choose not to be who you came into this world as. And you always got to come back this way. You always got to come back this way. And it's just true. It said, this is true and deep. Yeah. It said, this is why PM called his own hair. Oh, he did? I don't know much about him other than he getting it. He getting it. Because they don't like his brother. They don't like his brother. If Shedeur can get up out of there, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. As soon as we get the full truth, and I keep thinking we're just about there, and this has opened a whole nother dimension. Because now, see, this is different. This is just beyond, you don't like Black people. No, this is evil. See, this is evil. See, this whole clan, that's what this is. This not just, oh, I didn't grow up around Black people. Because see, that's what people try to say. Why I'm uncomfortable because I don't really know no black people. No. This is totally different. This is every waking moment of the day you are trying to destroy black people, and you have chosen to take a job where 70% of the people that work there are black. So you on a mission. You on a mission. See, this is on another level right here. Kevin Stefanski got to go. It's hillbilly. Yep. It's a lot of things, but evil. Scalping black people and putting their hair in the cushions. Evil. Understand that. And see, I don't know if Shedeur sees it that deep. I think he does know that that's what's happening where Stefanski's concerned, but the normal kind, right? Not the otherworldly type of every day I'm thinking about how I'm going to put you down. That kind. If I didn't get you this time, and I didn't get you the first time, and I can't get you in this time because you're not playing, unfortunately, we're going to have to put you down. Yeah. I hope y'all see it. It said money does not give you class. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. They better remember Tylo. We will. I saw her on somebody did a documentary. Her career went up in smoke like fast. I thought she was Trevor Noah's little sister, and that didn't help. They better remember Tyler. We will Tyler the NFL. That's what you were saying. TYLA. Tyler. Okay. I thought it was a hashtag like the game we used to play. What they like is people who play the game with them. Do we have to say RG3? Yeah, right. They like people like that denounce who they are, that will openly bash if you're a man, black women, or a woman, black. So between Candace Owens and RG3, that's what they ultimately want you to be. That's the only way they will accept you. And then when they do, they're going to use you. And both of them have been used, chewed up, and spit out. Both of them. So they should know. They should know by now. It said, so that's what was being said. They better treat us right. Or we will Tyler the NFL, because Tyler, that's her name, career was upended unexpectedly. Unexpectedly. See, they might not call it cancel culture no more, but it still happens. It still happens. Ryan Clark said after Cam's game tonight, he showed 12 is better than y'all talking about Shedeur? Ryan Clark said after Cam's game tonight, he showed Shedeur is better than Cam. I mean, I never doubted that. See, Shedeur was the most NFL-ready QB. Why? He wasn't afraid of the lights. He didn't need to catch on. So all of the lies that Stefanski and them trying to put out about Shedeur can't get it. He got to give him something basic so he can don't have to think. The way Shedeur played ball, there was nothing basic about it. And he went over there and asked for a deep ball and got it. So Stefanski is intentionally lying on Shedeur using stereotypes. Stefanski needs to be fired immediately. He is a hazard to Shedeur. He's a hazard to the team, because if you feel like you want to affiliate yourself with the Klan or have that type of ideology and you want to bring it to work with you and try to upend black players' careers because you think it's your mission as a servant leader to do so, and you made your allegiance to a white supremacy, you got to go, buddy. You got to go. Just like Donald Sterling. You ain't got no team to sell, so we could just get rid of you today. He got to go, y'all, and I'm serious. He got to be fired. He's a hazard to Shedeur. The team likes Shedeur, though. I don't believe they will knowingly let him get hurt. Well, here's the thing, right? Could they stop him from getting sacked in the game at 4-1? Nope. So they didn't knowingly let him get hurt, but he could have. And I think Stefanski wanted him to play in this game because we're talking about the number one defense. So he probably was going to run back a 4-1 play again. And this time he gets sacked with more intensity. 74 blew his coverage. That was obvious, right? So while the teammates can keep him from getting hurt in the locker room, maybe in public, because you ain't going to know who coming at you, just like they don't know who put the noose out there in Tennessee. after the coach invited that type of behavior by, in front of the reporters, putting Cam down, making him seem difficult. Kevin Stefanski has done the same thing with, unfortunately, we're going to have to put him down. You're inviting people. You're encouraging people who already don't like Shedeur, like the person they were making fun of in the skit, to hurt Shedeur. That's what that is. That's how that noose ended up at the Titans Stadium. They know what they're doing. They could say, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, they got the excuse ready. They got the excuse ready. Stefanski needs to go. Right. Hey, Regina, we were just talking about the noose at the Titans Stadium and how that came to be. Tyler was canceled. Her latest album flopped and only sold 4,000 units after her smash hit song Water. That's insane. Wow. But Dylan Gabriel gets all the reps, healthy or tight hamstring, not just injured a little. Right. And I heard them say in that little documentary, 4 quarterbacks are fighting for reps. They ain't fighting for nothing. They just not giving them to Shedeur. It's basically like, we don't have no use for you, then trade it. But they don't want to do that, right? They want to sit there and torment him and humiliate him. Kevin Stefanski has to be fired. We boycotted singer Tyler over the color comment she made. Oh, okay. I knew something happened, but, as you can tell, I watch a lot of documentaries, so I didn't exactly know what was happening with Tyler. But thank you for telling me, Doug's Diagnostics. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Lisa said, I hope Shedeur goes to the Raiders. It said all the better if they trade him. They not built for it. Yeah, but there's nowhere for him to go right now. But when the door opens, it's not going to be a lot of places he could go. It said, why Skip look like he about to get choked by Darth Vader? I have no idea. Skip selling it. Right. That's what I'm saying. Amber, Skip over there pushing it hard. Yeah. I feel nervous when I watch Joe Milton play. But Shedeur, I just feel comfortable. Dora, where you probably the text that Jerry Jones trying to convince Jerry Jones to get him after he couldn't convince Haslam to let him play. So he like, forget you. I'm gonna go call Jerry and get Shedeur over there. I like it. I don't have no problem with it. This will be the only time I become a Cowboys fan. And I actually have a Cowboy sweatshirt ready to go. So, it is what it is. So yeah, Skip selling it. The CU video of encouragement was a nice touch. He'll always be 2. Yes. Yeah, we're going to get to that. We're going to get back to that too. Nephew makes me proud. Yeah. I see you cooking. Thank you, Kane. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Come on now. Put the cow in Bayless. Right. I think he did that publicly on purpose. I really do. Skip know what he doing. It's funny how 2 days ago he was trying to convince Haslam, and now that must have failed. So he like, screw it. I want him to go over here to Dallas. I'm like, okay, I got to share this tonight because this is hilarious. Yeah. Joe Milton just makes me nervous. So you want him to trade players because one of them make you nervous. Oh, Lord have mercy. They so funny to me. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them are disgusting. But, they so funny to me. Skip is because he be flip-flopping all over the place. But he does like Coach Prime and them. I will say that. It said he sounds like what he is. Skip tell it like it is, though. Yeah, he does. He does. He just don't like LeBron. I don't normally agree with Skip. It said he's spot on. I don't know about him leaving one circus for another. You know what, Bridget? And that's what people say. They're like, why would you want Shedeur to go to Dallas? I'm like, anywhere but Cleveland. Don't be offended, Browns fans. Y'all should be able to understand our guy is not safe with Kevin Stefanski out here stomping for the KKK. We can't have that out here now. We can't do that. You got to be, you can't leave people in environments like that, right? You can't do that. It says still no Parsons contract. Yeah, I think he gonna wait until like a few games in the season. I do. I think he gonna wait. Jerry Jones was talking about Shiloh. Shedeur asked Jerry to get him. Oh, in New Orleans, that's what he was talking about? Oh, that's why he said we're gonna have to do a lot of trading. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense because he was gonna get Shedeur anyway. Well, you never know. If something happened to Shedeur in Tampa, and I'll be watching to see if he play tomorrow. I mean, I think he's proven himself, but it could open up the door for him to go to Dallas, you know. It could. It could. But it makes sense now. In New Orleans, he was talking about Shiloh. Okay. And that's how you know how familiar Shedeur is with Jerry, that he could be asking him about his brother. And remember, he was talking to Roger Goodell, trying to get Roger to say, you got to let my brother have his way. And he is filming, and it's the Panthers, but that's okay. That's okay. At least he's in there, right? At least he's in there. He has the wild mechanics, though. He doesn't look like Shedeur. Oh, you talking about Joe. Okay. It said not true. The conversation Jerry had was about Shedeur. Okay, I'm going to let y'all argue about that. Thank you, Amber. It says, I was listening when Shedeur asked him. Oh, Sarah and Amber having a conversation. All right, ladies, I'm going to let y'all have it. And Joe Milton is 6'5" with a 75.9% completion rate. That's nice. That's what Skip is saying. He has a good arm on him, but he's not consistent. But at 75% accuracy, that sounds pretty consistent to me. And that's what they say. Jerry was getting excited. Oh my, we have him on the team. I'm like, you don't know who on your team? But he was like, I can't believe we have him on the team. You don't know who he is then. That's what you're saying. But you out here trying to broker Micah's contract first person. Okay. If Dallas is the promised land for Shedeur, then so be it. Facts. Anywhere but Cleveland. Hashtag anywhere but Cleveland. I was listening as well. Oh, okay. That's Amber and Sarah. Okay. If Jerry wants Shedeur, his mind is already made up. Thank you, D. And that would be the right thought. Jerry should feel too guilty to engage with CP. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's the only reason why it wouldn't happen. Travis, Shedeur, and Shiloh. To where? Janaire, to where? Let me know. Are you talking about Cleveland initially? Or are you talking about, I think you're talking about to Cleveland initially in the draft. I mean, I could see it. I could see it. I mean, you just swapped Jimmy for Shiloh. I think Jerry Jones was behind no one picking Shedeur because Prime didn't leave Colorado for the Cowboys. No, he did that as a solid. That's how you know they were tight. Jerry just did that, you know, to give Coach Prime some leverage where CU negotiating was concerned. And I felt like CU felt insulted by that. And that's why they gave Doc Livingston his contract first instead of Coach Prime. And I think Coach Prime was not too happy about that. But, you know, hey, that's the risk you take when you use your leverage. And Jerry Jones was his leverage. Now they done all fell out. It said Amber Shedeur told Jerry to get Shiloh. He said there'll be some trading going on. Okay. Amber said, okay. Stefanski is upset because Shedeur and Eric Berry was talking on the sidelines, congratulated Shedeur, and he told Shedeur to continue working hard and balling out. Now, that whole scene was funny because Stefanski stood there like he didn't hear them. And then he gonna put his headset on. Then he scooted up to the front. Then he just walked off snatched his headphone off his head and just walked off. He didn't like what he was hearing. So I feel like there's some internal politics between Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. I don't think they are aligned. And I think if Stefanski is with the K's, right, then it makes sense he don't like Andrew Berry telling him who the players are going to be. He want to pick his own player. I believe Stefanski picked Dylan Gabriel. I believe that because of the whole Dan Lanning thing. I believe Stefanski picked Dylan Gabriel. And when they had to go get Shedeur, then that's when everybody got upset, fell out, and all this, that, and the other. Because they thought they were done with Shedeur and walked away from him. But no, you're going to have to come back here and face this music. So he's there. But see, here's the thing. The understanding, it's just like what Stephen A. told Travis in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. Everybody is not against you. And that's true. I do believe there are a lot of people in Cleveland that like Shedeur. I think there are people that work there that like Shedeur. I think a lot of the players like him, whether they're afraid to say it or not, or whether they have openly embraced him across racial lines. I know there are guys that want to win with him because they want to win now. They've been losing for so long. But like Stephen A. told Travis, everybody's not against you, but it is your job to find out who's for you and who's against you. And that's what he's finding out. And see, when we watched the clip with Stefanski and Shedeur talking, it was giving me the impression, and I think Charlotte had emailed me, is Shedeur being oblivious to what's happening? And I was like, I hope not. But then I saw a post, and it was so many people under it saying they felt like Shedeur was being direct and holding Barry accountable, and that Shedeur knows BS when he hears it. So that's what all of that touchy-feely, acting familiar, this, that, and the other was about. See, sometimes when people nervous, they laugh. But sometimes when people playing along, they not just standing there stoically. They're trying to play along back. So when you know somebody is BSing you, you know, sometimes people will tell you something and you know it's BS and you just look at them like this. But then sometimes you're like, girl, yeah, no, that. But you know it's BS, right? So that's what people were saying Shedeur was doing. And maybe they're right, because look at how Barry walked away, right? Look at how Barry walked away from that scenario. It's like he was like, let me get the hell on, right? So hopefully that's what it is. But one thing I have said, the Sanders are not going to let on. They're not going to let on. But Shedeur is not stupid. He's not stupid, but he is young. And I don't know how experienced he is, you know, when you're dealing with this deep-seated racism where people have the ideology of the K's and how they really think, right? And what they really willing to go through to exact out their hatred. That's the dangerous part. Like I said, that's different from I didn't grow up around Black people, so I don't understand, or, you know, I have preconceived notions. No, that's totally different. This is totally different. This is irrationality. And you cannot reason with irrational people. I mean, the fact that he can't look at him, the fact that he won't say his name, the fact that he can't say nothing good about him, the fact that he's speaking in stereotypes, the fact that he ignores him, that he's making it publicly known how he felt because he feels emboldened because his boss didn't watch his words either. But Stefanski is taking it to the next level. He's crazy because you're going to risk it all on a third string QB. No, he's risking it all for his ideology. That's what he's risking it all for. When you call yourself a servant leader to your job, you lying. You just using thinly veiled coded language to say you are a servant leader and your ideology will be implemented for the Cleveland Browns. And if it's true what they say about the skill positions, mostly white now, then there you go. And look at the draft. Look at the draft. Look at who they didn't want and look at who they was willing to pay. Shedeur was considered going top 5. Jerry wasn't getting no quarterback. Right. So if Shedeur got devalued, then Jerry could more easily get him. And he could just be playing and acting like, well, I don't want to show too much interest too soon because people are going to, you know, notice that I had something to do with it or say I did it on purpose or they're going to question it. But if he sit back and he just waits and you see the Browns like have no intentions for him. It's like they just holding him until they get a phone call. And that's what it could be. That's what it could be. And that's how you have Dak and Shedeur. Otherwise, you wasn't gonna have Dak and Shedeur. You was gonna have to get rid of Dak, and you can't because he make $36 million, $60 million a year, and that was like for 4 years or something crazy like that. That's a lot of money. It's that Prime is in his feelings. He's not talking to anybody. He said publicly he was changing his number, which was a new number. I noticed he's moving different. Yeah, you gotta be. He did say that. Coach Prime did say certain people were trying to get at him, and he been changing his number. So yeah, you're right about that one. I wouldn't say he's in his feelings though. I would say he's protecting his peace. See, there's a difference. In your feelings means you're being stubborn about a situation that happened and refusing to listen or reason. Coach Prime has protected his peace. So I agree with you, but I would say he's protecting his peace. No, he wouldn't have gotten a top 5 QB, but in the predicament he's in now, right? And the predicament that Jerry Jones is in now makes it ripe to send Milton over there to Cleveland and Shedeur over here. All I see is the same money, which means you just swapping. You just swapping a person's geographic location, a jersey number, the team name that's on their paycheck. That's it. That's it. The money's the same. I actually have a photo of how much Joe Milton makes because I said, let me see how much he made. I knew if I saw how much he made, then it would tell me if it's doable. And when I saw, I think it's damn near identical. This is it right here. It says Joe Milton, he's 25 years old, 5 months and 6 days. He has 1 year of experience. He went to Tennessee, 6th round. So Shedeur was 5th round. That money's about the same. His agent is Doug Hendrickson, somebody at Wasserman. It says $960,000, and he's only made $795. So remember, they have an escalating scale when it comes to getting paid, right? They start off with the lowest amount in year 1, which is $795. I think Shedeur is probably maybe a little higher than that. Not much. And then it goes like to the 960 and 960 again or something like that. That's the same contract. That's the same money. So it sets it up. Whether it happens involuntarily, that the walls keep closing in, the Southern District of New York got something they want to say, things coming out, the truth about the racism with quarterbacks, with Brian Flores, and people make the connection to Shedeur. It could happen. It's set up for it. Voluntarily down the line or involuntarily if the walls keep closing in, because they already closing in. They already closing in. So, that was that. All right, y'all. I guess that's it for the most part, right? I think this was good, right? This was good. Thank you, Doug's Diagnostics. Thank you, James. And thank you, Doug's Diagnostics. Again, I appreciate y'all. And who else is this? Gemini. Welcome. Hey, Gemini. Thank you so much. So, thank you all for the support. I appreciate it. So this was good, right? If Shedeur not playing, I'm not watching. This is my motto for the season. I'm watching 1 p.m. tomorrow. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to go out for a little bit, come back, go to sleep so I can wake up because that's a early game. I got some running around to do. I will be live. Turn your notifications on. I'm going to schedule it tonight. It's open to the public. You can come in and out as you go. If you're out and about, watch us on your phone. Just stop in, leave a comment, wave, say hi. We're going to be live during the entirety of the game. And I'm rooting for Jimmy Horn Jr. All right, y'all. So we're going to get out of here. This was excellent conversation. Everybody seems to be aligning with the root, the catalyst for the way Shedeur was treated in the draft, racism, the way he's being treated in Cleveland, racism, and Kevin Stefanski seems to be the leader. So that's good. That's good. That means we can get together and campaign to get Kevin Stefanski the hell out of there. So, with kind of proof, and I feel like the video with Kevin Stefanski saying that, unfortunately, we're going to have to put him down. Yeah, that's the start. So I'm going to get out of here, everybody, and I'll see y'all later. We made it to 337 people. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, game time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on What She Said Sports. Have a good night. And remember, if Shedeur not playing, we not watching. Peace. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.